Hello, my dear children. How are you all? Hopefully, you all are happy, healthy, and excited for our today's story. Our today's story is again a very inspiring story, so listen it very carefully. Let's begin. Along the southern edge of Australia lies Adelaide, a city where the ocean breathes stories into the shore every morning. The sea there is beautiful but unforgiving. Its waves rise and fall with quiet power, and if testing the courage of anyone who dares to challenge them. This is the story of Mila Harper, a young woman from Adelaide whose life changed because she chose not to step back from the water but to swim forward. Mila grew up near Hanley Beach. From her bedroom window, she could see the ocean stretching endlessly, shimmering under the sun. As a child, she loved the sea, but she never imagined it would become the center of her destiny. At the age of 12, Mila was an average swimmer. She enjoyed water, but she wasn't extraordinary. Other girls at her school were faster, stronger, and more confident. Coaches often overlooked her, choosing taller and more powerful swimmers for competitions. One afternoon, after a school trial, Mila overheard a coach whisper, "She doesn't have the build for long distance swimming." Those words cut deeper than the coldest ocean current. She returned home quietly and sat by the shore that evening. The waves crashed again and again, never stopping, never apologizing. Mila watched them carefully and realized something simple yet powerful. The ocean never explained itself, yet it always moves forward. That night, she made a promise to herself. Mila began training before sunrise. While the city slept, she entered the cold Adelaide water, her breath visible in the morning air. At first, she could barely swim for 15 minutes without exhaustion, but muscles screamed, her lungs burned, and fear crept in whenever the waves grew wild. There were days when storm rolled in, suddenly forcing her back. There were days when people laughed, saying, "Why does she train so hard? She'll never be selected." Even her friends suggested her choose something easier. But Mila remembered the waves. They never stopped for approval. Slowly, minute by minute, her stamina grew. 15 minutes becoming 30. 30 became an hour. Her body adopted, but more importantly, her mind hardened. Swimming taught her patience. The sea taught her humility. At 23, Mila applied for a long distance open water challenge, a demanding swim along Adelaide rough southern coastline. It wasn't a famous international event, but it was known among swimmers as one of the most mentally exhausting challenges in Australia. When the selection list came out, Mila's name was at the bottom. Some swimmers mocked her quietly, others ignored her completely. On the day of the swim, the sky was cloudy and the sea restless. Cold currents twisted beneath the surface, and strong winds pushed waves sideways. Many spectators believed the event would be cancelled. It wasn't. As Mila stood at the shore in her wetsuit, doubt whispered into her mind. What if they were right? What if I fail in front of everyone? She closed her eyes and took one deep breath. I don't need to defeat anyone, she whispered. I just need to finish. And then the horns sounded. The swimmers entered the water together, arms cutting through the waves. Within the few first kilometers, the ocean began separating the strong from uncertain. One swimmer quit due to cramps. Another panicked after swallowing seawater. The cold numbed Mina's finger. Her shoulder ached. Every stroke felt heavier than the last. At one point, a massive wave hit her sideways, pulling her off rhythm. Fear surged through her chest like lightning. For a brief moment, she considered signaling for help, but then she remembered those mornings alone at the beach, the silence, the discipline, the promise. She adjusted her breathing and kept swimming. Time lost meaning in the water. Mila didn't know her position. She didn't know who was ahead or behind. All she knew was the sound of her breath and the endless blue beneath her. At the final stretch, her energy was nearly gone. Her muscles trembled, tears mixed with sea water. That was when something extraordinary happened. Spectators along the shore noticed a single swimmer still fighting the waves, refusing to stop. Cheers rose, not loud but sincere. Her name echoed across the wind. Mila, Mila, Mila. She lifted her head just enough to see the shoreline. With one fine surge of strength, she crossed the final finish line. Mila did not finish first, she finished last, but she finished. Officials later revealed something unexpected. Mila had completed the final 10 minutes of the swim alone in the harshest current, where many stronger swimmers had already withdrawn. That segment was considered the true test of endurance. Her determination earned her a special recognition award for courage and resilience. Media outlets didn't call her the fastest swimmer. They called her the woman who refused to quit the sea. Today, Mila trains young girls in Adelaide. She doesn't ask them to be the strongest or the fastest. She asks them one simple question: can you continue when no one is clapping? Because she knows the truth now. Victory is not always about standing on podium. Sometimes it's about staying in the water when everything tells you to get out. And this is all about our today's inspiring story. Hopefully, you all must have enjoyed today's story. What we learned from today's story, the moral value we learn is true strength is not proven by spread or applause, but by perseverance when faced with doubt, fear, and loneliness. Those who continue despite setbacks create their own victory. This is the great lesson we learn from today's story. Please do share this inspiring story with your friends, relatives, neighbors, cousins, school friends, everyone. Do subscribe to our channel. Tomorrow we will meet with a new story. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Lots of blessings.